First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Welcome to WUFT First at 5. I'm Tyler Carmona.
And I'm Chris Will. Thanks for joining us. New developments in the shooting that killed a 9-year-old girl, a TV news reporter, and a woman in Orlando. The state attorney is pushing back against criticism from Governor Ron DeSantis. DeSantis blamed Florida State Attorney Monique Worrell for not doing more to hold the suspect Keith Moses for previous run-ins with the law. He even went on to call the state attorney a woke prosecutor. She says that none of the crimes Moses committed warranted life in prison and called on the governor to act on gun control.
The only means to reduce the likelihood of mass shootings in our community is to enact responsible gun legislation so that we reduce the likelihood that there will be more guns on our streets.
3 second-degree murder charges have been filed against Moses. Worrell says they could move to first-degree charges if indicted by a grand jury. She says 2 charges of attempted first-degree murder will be stacked on top of a number of other violations.
The Alachua County Sheriff's K-9 unit will be helping the Gainesville Police Department. Currently, Gainesville's unit is on limited duty, with all use needing to be approved by Chief Lonnie Scott. But these restrictions come after Terrell Bradley was mauled by one of these dogs. The agreement came out of a meeting between ACSO Chief Clovis Watson Jr., City Manager Cynthia Curry, and Police Chief Scott. In a joint statement, ACSO and GPD announced that ACSO's unit will assist GPD in any incident that falls within policy and procedures, upon request. Both departments say they're committed to improving public safety and policing practices. More Florida residents are turning to Citizens Property Insurance, Florida's state-backed insurer.
Yeah, Tyler, this has to do with the Florida residents being dropped by their private insurance companies. In 2019, Florida homeowners accounted for 76% of all homeowner insurance lawsuits over claims filed nationwide. This comes from the damage brought by Hurricane Ian. From Mary Alice Bassett, a Fort Myers resident who was affected by Hurricane Ian. Her private insurance company, Florida Peninsula Insurance, raised its rates this year. She says she's worried her current company won't renew her when the next hurricane season comes around. Citizens policy numbers predict to hit a record with nearly 2 million policies in 2023. And that is a crazy number. So Citizens policy just continues to rise. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Kennedy. Certainly a display of the lasting impact hurricanes have here in Florida.
That's right, Chris, and weather as always is important, especially here in Florida. That's why WFT's Derrah joins us now with the forecast.
There is a lot going on in the southeast. We have some low pressure bringing unstable conditions like some scattered showers and storms that you see here, and then high pressure sitting above the Atlantic, which is breaking these storms up as they get closer to our area. It looked like it was going to rain earlier, but we aren't tracking those showers arrive in our area until tomorrow. You can see some partial overcast and things feeling a bit cooler in the mid 70s. And I'll have more on where exactly these storms are moving coming up.
Baby products like diapers and clothes are temporarily tax-free, but these items may permanently go untaxed after a state lawmaker filed a bill to eliminate sales tax on diapers.
WFT's Jake Reyes visited a Gainesville children's store and learned how a tax break on baby items helped the community so far.
That's right, guys. Last year, Governor Ron DeSantis signed a temporary tax break on baby products that is set to expire this June. Now, a new bill filed by Senate Democratic leader Lauren Book is looking to extend at least some of that legislation. I spoke with a regular customer and manager of WeCycle, who both tell me they would like to continue all of the tax exemptions that are currently put in place permanently.
Babies. They can't provide for themselves. So if you love them, you look after them. Since July of 2022, it's been a little bit easier for parents like Nicole Crutchfield to shop for her 1-year-old daughter Gianna at WeCycle, a Gainesville children's store.
It's going to take a lot of money off, and right now, times are really hard, with inflation and the price of everything. Our grocery bill is astronomical right now, so anything helps.
Last year, Governor Ron DeSantis signed a year-long sales tax exemption on some products for children under the age of 5. This includes t-shirts, diapers, and shoes.
And just to give an example of how the tax exempt affected WeCycle, check this out. These size 4 shorts last year would have costed $3.21, but this year they cost just $2.99. Flat, nothing more.
The tax break is set to expire on June 30th, but Senate Minority Leader Lauren Book filed Senate Bill 144, which would permanently eliminate sales tax on diapers. According to a press release by the News Service of Florida, an average monthly supply of diapers cost $80. Senate Bill 144 doesn't mention clothing or some of the other products in the original tax relief, but DeSantis also wants to continue exemptions of the original products permanently. He would even add strollers in the mix. WeCycle store manager Amanda Smith says the break has helped business so far and hopes that some of her sales remain tax-free.
All of our clothing for the children for 5 and under, all their clothing and shoes have been tax-free, and it's been super positive. Our customers have really enjoyed that little tax break.
Florida has already eliminated sales tax for baby food and infant formula. Now, if Senator Book's bill passes, diapers would also be on that list as soon as January 1st of next year. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Jake. Every Thursday, there's a farmer's market in Gainesville that promotes sustainability and fresh products. The GNV market is hosting a farmer's market that allows for people to be more sustainable. This market has a wide variety of local vendors that range from thrifted clothing all the way to bakers. People can buy these products from local vendors or just their weekly groceries. The marketing and social media manager for South Main Station says there's something for everybody.
We kind of have something for everybody. There are 1-year-olds, children in strollers. It's very family oriented, so you can bring your grandma, you can bring your toddler, somebody will have something for them.
The market has 35 vendors and is open every Thursday from 4 to 7.
Now, Tyler, I imagine I know the answer to this, but have you ever sang happy birthday to a cow?
What are you talking about, Chris?
Well, because there's a program that helps kids learn about farm animals where they can do just that.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Xenia. Happy birthday to you.
Parents and children gathered to interact with farm animals, including cows, sheep, and chickens. This activity is part of the Barnyard Bunnies program, which every Wednesday opens its doors to families for a unique experience. Upon arrival, attendees were given handfuls of hay for the children to feed to the cows, and it was a special day for the farm because Xenia, the cow, turned 5 years old. And obviously, they had to sing her happy birthday. Several parents see this farm as a unique educational opportunity. Even a parent that visited feels that more parents should know about these types of programs that add to children's growth. Now, that was so adorable, all those little kids singing to these adorable farm animals.
That's right. It seemed fun, not my type of event, but certainly. When we return from the break, though, one influential politician has been hospitalized after falling. We'll hear more about these details when we're back.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome back. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is in the hospital after a fall at a D.C. dinner. A spokesperson for the 81-year-old said the Republican senator was at a private dinner when he tripped. In a statement, McConnell's office said he is being treated at a local hospital. D.C. Fire and Emergency Medical Services says an adult male was transported from the hotel at 9:17 Wednesday night after a call reporting a fall there. No details have been released on his condition.
There's new information in the details surrounding the tragic kidnapping and murder of Americans in Mexico. Investigators say the attack was carried out by members of a notorious drug cartel as the group crossed the border from Texas. NBC's Jay Gray has the latest.
New images authenticated by U.S. investigators show trucks chasing, then surrounding a white van just minutes before gunmen opened fire on 4 Americans inside. Shaheed Woodard and Zendel Brown killed, along with an innocent bystander struck by a stray bullet. Eric Williams wounded. Latavia Washington McGee, traveling to Mexico for a medical procedure, wasn't hit during the attack.
She watched them die.
We now know
Good morning, America! Nancy called. Here we come.
Initially, 5 people were inside the van as it left South Carolina for Matamoros. Cheryl Lawrence says she didn't have documents necessary to cross the border and that friends planned to drop McGee off for the cosmetic procedure, then come straight back to their motel. She says she called police when they didn't return. A show of force, hundreds of Mexican Army and National Guard troops stationed across Matamoros right now as the investigation continues. Jay Gray, NBC News.
A vigil was held for those who died during the kidnapping. This vigil was held at a Scranton community ministry where all 4 kidnapped victims were from. Friends and family were in attendance and paid their respects to their lives lost. The victims traveled from South Carolina to Mexico for cosmetic surgery but were captured by drug cartel factions. The 2 remaining survivors are currently recovering in a Texas hospital.
Over half of the Sunshine State is being monitored for a moderate drought.
That's right, and almost all of Florida is seeing unusually dry conditions.
That's right. We are desperate for some rain, and thankfully we'll have a few chances over the next couple of days. I'll have more on where these showers are headed when we return.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Our drought monitor was just updated earlier today, and 93% of the state is seeing abnormally dry conditions. 80% is facing a moderate drought, and 4% is under a severe drought. California, their drought has diminished, but in the Central Plains, they are seeing a consistent drought, and the reason is the storms are coming out of the west like this you see here. This was earlier today. These storms generate out of the west and move up and over the plains, not bringing them as much rain as we had hoped, moving through the southeast, and by the time they reach our area, oftentimes they break up, but we are hoping for that rain tomorrow. This evening we'll be cooling down into the upper 60s, and tomorrow morning you'll be waking up to temperatures in the upper 50s, almost 70 degrees in Cedar Key due to those southwesterly winds, and those southwesterly winds are going to warm us up into the low 80s tomorrow. Storms are possible, and those storm chances are going to increase as we head into those late evening hours. Your evening commute, tomorrow on Friday is going to be pretty wet. You can see in Lake City lots of heavy and severe storms. This is Friday at 5, 6, and 7. You can see some severe storms near I-10 and I-75. It looks like we're not going to see too heavy showers tomorrow. As the time the storms reach our area, they begin to break up, and if you're headed out Friday night, it looks like you're in for a treat because it'll be dry, so you won't have to worry about bringing an umbrella. Friday, the high temperature almost 80 degrees, and you can see all this moisture in the air ahead of that cold front. Don't forget to set your clock forward this weekend. You can see on Saturday temperatures in the mid 70s, and on Sunday we'll be back into the 80s. Looking ahead to your spring break, there is the chance for some scattered storms on Monday, mixed sunshine on Tuesday after that cold front passes through, and we'll be cool on Wednesday with temperatures in the upper 60s. Temperatures will be in the low 80s on Friday. After that cold front moves through on Monday, we'll be back into the mid 60s next week. Back to you.
Thanks, Derrah. A former Gator football star is giving back to the community through teaching kindness. WFT's Elena Barrera went to one of Major Wright's motivational events. Elena, what was the energy like?
Tyler, I was taken back to 4th grade today, and they still have me running high on energy. I don't know how Major is able to keep up with all of these kids, but he does it with pride.
On your mark, get set, go!
Just like that, the dance party begins. Kids at Newberry Elementary School jumped to their feet to show off their best moves.
I kind of learned it from my dad because like he used to listen to like the old school music, and he taught me like old school music dance, and I just feel like dancing now.
Major Wright kicked off an assembly dedicated to kindness. The former UF standout and NFL star started his mission after he experienced the joy of helping.
I ended up seeing a homeless guy laying on the ground, and I took him to get something to eat. And in that moment, I thought I was helping him, but in all actuality, he was helping me. So now God gave me a purpose to now start walking and start like getting kids to understand how important it is to be kind to one another.
The encounter 5 years ago. The impact will last a lifetime.
I've never felt this a day in my life, and I've won national championship. I made it to the NFL. I've done a lot, but this one feeling I've never gotten.
Wright says he's dedicated to spreading this positive message to the kids. He started his foundation to emphasize good deeds, promoting what he calls Good Deed Tuesday. He teaches kids how to pay it forward through the foundations of kindness.
Responsible, treat others the way you want to be treated, and respectful.
The energy in the room,
The ball has to go down all the way to the back.
enough to fuel kids to want to make a difference.
Major Wright says his goal is to speak at as many schools as possible.
Major had me moving in my seat. I'll tell you that. I could feel the energy. Coming up in sports on WFT News, Florida basketball lost a heartbreaker today in the second round of the SEC
That's right,
tournament.
Chris. We just watched that here in the studio, but their season might not be over just yet. WFT's Ellie Shreve tells us all about it and more coming after the break.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Welcome back. I'm Ellie Shreve, and let's talk sports. The Florida men's basketball SEC tournament run is one and done after an overtime loss to Mississippi State earlier today. Overcoming a 10-point deficit at halftime, the Gators were defeated in the second round of the SEC tournament 69-68. Florida simply could not answer for big man Tolu Smith, who led the Bulldogs with 28 points and 12 rebounds. Things seemed to go Mississippi State's way late into the second half as the Gators stormed back and sent the game to overtime with a Myron Jones three-ball. He and Riley Kugel combined for 25 points in the loss. Mississippi State regained control in overtime, putting the Gators back in the game. However, they came up just short, and Jones missed what would have been the game winner. And the Gators will now wait as they see if they will be in the NIT tournament. Here's a crazy stat. Florida baseball has scored 43 runs in their last 3 games. 11 of them came in the last night's victory over FAU. Cags, Cagliotani, Jackhammer, whatever you want to call him, Jack Caglione has certainly made a name for himself in the college baseball world. Caglione finished 4 for 5 last night and slammed the game-winning grand slam, leading the Gators to a victory over FAU. The Gators will look to extend their 3-game win streak this weekend against Siena. And as if that wasn't enough runs for you, Gator softball has been tearing it up offensively with 24 runs in their last 4 games. Last night was more of a defensive affair, but Florida shut out UCF 3-0. The game was scoreless until the Gators broke in the 5th inning. Kayla Pollard drove in a run here with a deep drive to center field. Florida wins their 4th straight, and they'll go for a 5th this Friday against Mercer. Spring practice continues today for Florida football. New players and coaches are continuing to adapt to the Gators standard. With the spring game just 35 days away, head coach Billy Napier has praised some of the players' performances during spring practice.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think on offense, Austin Barber, Kingsley Guacan have been really good. I think the 2 backs, Montrell and Trevor. I think Ricky Pearsall. On defense, I think Boone has been impressive. Wingo, AP, Jason's even growing in that role. He's more vocal.
Florida will hold 15 practices this spring, with the last one being the spring game, which will take place on April 13th. I've got just 3 things to say. God bless our troops, God bless America, and gentlemen, start your engines. The 54th annual NHRA Gator Nationals event kicks off today, and Alachua County could not be more excited. The national event takes place every year at Gainesville Raceway and will serve as the NHRA series opener for the 2nd time ever. WUFT's Jensen Young spoke with racing driver Ron Capps for more.
Thanks, Ellie. I'm here at the kickoff press conference for the NHRA season opener. The season starts at the Gator Nationals event at the Gainesville Raceway. I spoke with Ron Capps, a driver in the funny car event, and he told me why this event is so prestigious and everyone wants the trophy.
You know, it's one of the oldest drag races we have on the circuit. On top of that, and I think that's what's probably continued to make it such a big race event. And now, again, it's starting off our season. So it's. I know people have been talking about taking their vacations for planning for this event, flying from all over the world. I just ran into people who flew in from overseas for this event. So you put that all together, and that's what the Gator Nationals are all about.
Competition for the NHRA season opener runs through the weekend at the Gainesville Raceway. For WUFT News, I'm Jensen Young.
That's all for our show tonight. Thank you guys for joining us.